They don't always say it out loud, but the body often whispers what the heart won't admit. Sometimes those whispers are signs we overlook until it's too late. You might notice grandma skipping meals more often, or your dad sitting in silence, staring out the window for hours. It might seem like normal aging, but sometimes it's more than that. There are subtle, hidden warnings that someone may be nearing the final stage of life, changes that quietly unfold over months, even years. In this video, we'll walk through 10 powerful signs that could mean an elderly loved one is in their final 2 years. These aren't always obvious, and many families miss them. But if you pay attention, you might recognize something early and help make their remaining time more peaceful, meaningful, and full of love. 1. Sudden or gradual withdrawal from social life. You might notice they stop picking up phone calls. Maybe they skip Sunday dinner even though they never used to miss it. Social withdrawal is one of the most overlooked signs, and it doesn't always happen overnight. Sometimes, it's subtle. They cancel plans. They sit in silence even when family is around. They stop attending church, book clubs, or community gatherings. And when you ask why, the answers are vague. Just tired, they'll say. But deep down, something is changing. The truth is, as the body and mind begin to slow down, the desire for stimulation fades. Some elderly people begin preparing emotionally, whether they're conscious of it or not. Isolation can also reflect undiagnosed depression, a loss of interest in life, or even early cognitive decline. When someone starts turning inward, pay attention. It might be more than just aging. It could be the start of a quiet goodbye. 2. Noticeable weight loss. Without trying, it starts with smaller portions. They leave food untouched. Clothes seem looser. At first, you might chalk it up to a reduced appetite or a normal part of aging. But unexplained weight loss, especially over weeks or months, is often a red flag. It can point to underlying illness, digestive issues, cancer, or a general decline in body function. In the final 2 years of life, the body often stops absorbing nutrients the way it used to. Muscles shrink. Fat disappears. Energy drops. Even their face may start to look more sunken or drawn. This isn't about dieting or trying to be healthy. It's involuntary. The appetite wanes, and with it, the will to eat. You might even notice food piling up in the fridge, meals left half-eaten. Pay attention. Unintentional weight loss, especially in someone who once had a stable routine, is one of the clearest signs that something more serious is going on. 3. Loss of interest in personal hygiene or grooming. You walk into their home, and something feels off. Maybe the room smells a bit musty. Maybe their clothes are stained, or their hair hasn't been brushed in days. For someone who used to take pride in their appearance, who ironed shirts or wore perfume, this sudden neglect is often more than forgetfulness. It's a sign of decline. In many cases, the effort to shower, dress, or clean up becomes too overwhelming. Their energy dips. Even the act of brushing teeth or washing hair can feel like climbing a mountain. In some cases, it's physical weakness. In others, it's emotional, linked to depression, loneliness, or even a quiet surrender to the idea that nothing matters anymore. When a person stops caring for themselves, it's often a sign that they're slipping into a different phase of life, one where daily routines lose their meaning. This shift can quietly indicate that the body and spirit are both winding down. 4. Persistent fatigue and low energy levels. They sleep more. Not just naps here and there, but long stretches of time where they barely leave the bed. When they do get up, they move slowly, their body heavy like it's carrying more than just age. Fatigue isn't just being tired. It's a constant, unshakable exhaustion. You'll see it in their eyes, in the way they sit still for hours, or in how they struggle to finish even basic tasks. They may stop cooking, cleaning, or even walking to the mailbox. This kind of deep fatigue often shows up in the final stretch of life, when the body's energy reserves are running low. The systems that once kept them going begin to wind down. And although they may not complain out loud, you'll sense it. This heaviness, this stillness. It's one of the clearest signs that their body is preparing, quietly and gently, for what's ahead. 5. Increased confusion or memory loss, not just normal aging. We all forget things sometimes, but this is different. You may notice they repeat the same question multiple times in a conversation or forget familiar faces and names. They might get lost in their own neighborhood or struggle to follow a simple recipe they've made for decades. This isn't just senior moments. This is deeper. It may look like early dementia, but in many cases, it's part of the brain shutting down in the later stages of life. Confusion can come and go. Some days they're sharp, others they're not sure what day it is. You might see them get anxious, agitated, or withdrawn. And the scariest part? They often realize what's happening, and it frightens them. This cognitive decline is one of the hidden signs of the body preparing to let go. It's heartbreaking to witness, but recognizing it can help you respond with patience, understanding, and the comfort they truly need. 6. Repeated hospitalizations or infections. If it feels like they're in and out of the hospital every few weeks, it's not just bad luck. It could be a sign that their body is no longer bouncing back. You might see a pattern: pneumonia, urinary tract infections, falls, shortness of breath, followed by short recoveries, then a return to weakness. These cycles often indicate that the body's immune system is wearing down. It's not just the illnesses themselves, it's the way recovery becomes slower or incomplete. Every round of treatment seems to take a little more out of them. Doctors may not always say it directly, but when hospital visits become routine, it's often a signal that the body is approaching its final chapter. It's especially concerning when they seem confused or weaker after each stay. Recognizing this pattern gives families time to make decisions about care, about comfort, and about how to spend the time that's left meaningfully. 7. Decreased appetite or trouble swallowing food used to bring them joy. Family dinners, favorite desserts, late-night snacks. But now they barely touch their plate. Meals go cold. They chew slowly, or not at all. Sometimes they even choke or cough while eating. This isn't just pickiness or a temporary stomach bug. In the final stages of life, the body often stops signaling hunger the way it used to. The digestive system slows down, and the act of eating becomes uncomfortable or even painful. You may notice them pushing food away, drinking less water, or only eating a few bites before giving up. It can be alarming to watch, especially if you associate eating with strength or wellness. But sometimes, forcing food can do more harm than good. Loss of appetite, especially combined with weight loss and fatigue, is often a natural part of the body beginning to shut down, gently signaling that it no longer needs fuel to keep going. 8. Changes in breathing or chronic shortness of breath. You may notice their chest rising and falling in strange patterns, long pauses between breaths, shallow gasps, or sudden shortness of breath after the smallest movement. This isn't just about being out of shape. It's often a sign that the lungs and heart are struggling. You might hear wheezing or labored breathing, even while they're resting. In some cases, this change happens gradually. Other times, it appears almost overnight. They may avoid stairs, stop walking long distances, or sit up in bed just to catch their breath. In the final stages of life, breathing can become more irregular, especially if there's an underlying condition like heart failure or advanced illness. These shifts can be subtle at first, but worsen over time. What's most important is noticing when breathing changes begin to affect their daily life. It's the body quietly showing that it's working harder than ever just to keep going. 9. Giving away belongings or tying up loose ends. One day, they hand you a family heirloom. Another day, they start organizing their paperwork, writing down passwords, or talking about their will. They might say, "I just want things in order," but there's usually more behind it. When someone begins giving away cherished items, writing letters, or settling unfinished business, it can be a sign they sense their time is nearing an end. They may not say it directly, but their actions speak volumes. It's their way of preparing, of saying goodbye in small, practical ways. This might also come with reflective conversations, apologies, or final words of advice. These aren't just random gestures. They're deeply intentional. People often have a sense, sometimes even before any medical diagnosis, that their time is limited. When you see them tying up loose ends, don't brush it off. It may be their way of facing the inevitable, with grace and quiet acceptance. 10. saying things that hint at being ready to go. They might not say, "I'm dying," but they say things that linger. "I've lived a good life. I'm tired of fighting. I just want peace now." These aren't just casual remarks, they're quiet signals of emotional and spiritual preparation. Some people begin talking more about the past, reflecting on childhood memories, old friends, or lost loved ones. Others speak in ways that feel final, like they're wrapping things up. Even their tone changes. It's softer, more resolved. You might hear them express a strange kind of calm or even detachment from things they once cared about deeply. It can be heartbreaking, especially if you're not ready to let go. But these moments aren't always about giving up. Often, they're about acceptance. When someone starts speaking like this, they're not just processing their life, they may be preparing for what comes next. Listening, rather than interrupting or reassuring, is sometimes the most loving thing you can do. When someone you love starts showing these signs, it can feel like the ground is shifting beneath you. But recognizing them doesn't mean giving up hope. It means leaning into the time you still have. These final years, months, or even weeks can hold some of the most meaningful moments you'll ever share. A quiet conversation, a gentle touch, a story you've never heard before. The truth is, most people don't get the chance to prepare. But if you're noticing these signs now, you have something powerful. Awareness. Use it to show up, to be present, to listen without rushing in to fix. Every moment matters. If this video helped you notice something you hadn't before, share it with someone else who might need it. And if you've been through this journey yourself, comment below. Your story could bring peace to someone who's just beginning theirs.